What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to another review. Another game is gone, and we have another review for you guys, this time on the game BloodRayne. So, it's vampires, but you know, make it a metaphor. Chaos breathes new life in 2020, one that was thought to be lost back in the early days of the 2000s, in something that makes men tremble in seduction, creating a new form and resurrected in a new age. The vampire was a creature that was feared and told to children at their bedtime stories, that way they don't wander off to places where they ought not be. But now the vampire has a new goal, it's to slay those who have wronged them and their family. Get it. BloodRayne, a third-person action-adventure game which came out in 2002, eons ago, is something that just, it made me remember all of the good days. Join the fact that I can play a retro game on YouTube, and it's a hassle in the fact that I experienced throughout the game Silent 2-esque glitches and camera bugs. I absolutely love this playthrough, and I love that I got to play this. This was an absolute treasure, and this game has a strong place in my heart, but it lacks desirability at times when it comes to the controls and the methods in which it was created. So this game takes fighting demon Nazis who are out to destroy the world to a whole new level. The game starts in 1933 and has 3 acts, much like a play. Starting in Morton, Louisiana, Rain starts working for the Brimstone Society to investigate an outbreak in the area. The story will then skip ahead a few years to Argentina, and Rain is sent to prevent the GGG, the Gegengeist group, from obtaining an artifact known as the Skull of Beliar, Belius. The GGG was a faction established to seek out supernatural means of bringing Germany to power, much like what happened in World War II, where Adolf Hitler collected certain pieces of paraphernalia that he thought would have brought him to power, and we see how well that turned out. Now, after finding an anonymous letter that the GGG officer in Germany has a document of the remaining officers, Rain then goes to Castle Gestalt. I'm even pronouncing that right because so many of the names are in German, so any of my people who are from Germany and you are watching, I'm so sorry, but also tell me if I got them right or wrong. Really, she does go to Castle Gestalt to dispose the rest of the Nazi officers and Jürgen Wolf himself. Jürgen Wolf is kind of acting as our Adolf Hitler-esque person over here, collecting all the paraphernalia and whatnot so that he becomes somewhat immortal throughout the game. Now, within the game, you find pictures of Adolf Hitler, and you have these different characters representing SS soldiers as GG members and vice versa, because there's a lot of history within this game that they inserted from World War II, which I'm actually quite impressed by. And also in this game, they're using vampires as a metaphor for both good and bad, and it's quite something. Now, this is kind of a yin and yang thing we got going on, where vampires are used within this game as a metaphor for the multitudes of things, and one of those being the heinous murders that were carried out on the Jews in World War II. Both examples are valid and warranted within a game like this, considering the fact that you have Rain, who is out to fight these kinds of characters, but you also have these different kinds of Diamites and other types of vampire characters within this game who are looking to attack and murder Rain and other people, so it goes both ways. On the evil side, using the vampire as a metaphor for draining the life out of millions, those millions being the Jews back in World War II. Speaking of the use of history within this game, the developers create a nice nod and mention to Elizabeth Bathory and Joseph Mengele. Now, just to give a little bit of context on who Elizabeth Bathory and Joseph Mengele were, Elizabeth Bathory was a Hungarian countess back in the 16th and 17th century who purportedly drained the blood from all of her female servants, and in some cases that I've read, ate parts of their body. Yummy. Joseph Mengele, known as Dr. Death and the Angel of Death, was a German doctor. He was an SS soldier and a physician during the time of World War II. He was the one who did the twin experiments. For those of you who know about that, that's basically where he experimented on twins, and he really liked the fact that they look so similar, blonde hair, blue eyes. He was one of the people who thought that he could create with cooperation from the SS and other doctors back in the day, he thought that he could create the master Aryan race from twins. But what this doctor is mainly remembered for is for administering the gas in the chambers that killed so many Jews. Now, the reason why this is pertinent to the game is because later on towards the tail end of the game, we encounter a set of twins. We have a boss battle with them, and this could be a little bit of a reference to Mengele's work on twins. If you think about it, I honestly thought it was quite clever that they put that into the game. It means that the developers did their research. Could this be a reference to the work done at Auschwitz and Birkenau? Who knows? But it's intriguing to say the least, and like I said, I'm really kind of happily surprised at the fact that there was so much attention to detail put into this game. The developers are plaguing the game with ancient artifacts and cryptic meanings and backing it up with facts and history. I might be in love. So let's go on to the history of Bailar, which it's really an interesting one. While I'm unsure of the developers' use of it, if they made this up from scratch or they actually used the meaning from the Jewish tradition, I'm unsure. But the name in which they're using actually comes from the word Belial, and it's from the Jewish tradition, and it means the wicked one. The history of Belial is one of Satan's most vulnerable demons, which I find funny because in the game it's made out to be this big hulking creature that can destroy Earth with a single swipe. Belial is completely rewritten and is a powerhouse of a demon, to say the least, and tries to take over the world by destroying it. Demons really don't, think before they pound. If you're going to destroy the world, then what's the point of taking it over? Now, the Diamites are something completely different, actually. The Diamites, in my opinion, represent the SS and the cruel nature that the Nazis had. These worms with heads, basically, which are parasites linked to the spinal column of their host, and they make this weird screeching sound as they try to attack you. One vampire to take out the entire force of the GGG is also someone who is half human. She still has a tremendous regard for human life and is empathetic towards others, not that's normal for a vampire to actually have, which I find really interesting that they switched up the lore on vampires yet again. A vampire in nature is a cruel one. It's one that lacks empathy in regards to emotion and feels absolutely nothing. I'm not talking about the vampires that got corrupted by society over the years with books like Twilight. I'm talking about Nosferatu, Dracula, Vlad the Impaler. I mean, the list goes on, but BloodRayne is just a product of the politically corrupted generation we currently live in. Now, is this a bad thing? No, it's not, but it is a process of evolution and how certain things are thought about in certain parts of society. Some might say that it's natural and we're progressing and we're taking the next step. Some might say we're taking those steps a little bit too far, but that's just me. BloodRayne is actually at an empathetic crossroads with herself in regards to one character in particular, Mince. Now, Mince is a double agent who also works at the Brimstone Society alongside with Ray, and she dies at the end of the game. Spoilers, if you haven't played the game till now, and it's been however long that the game is out, since 2002, sorry, you missed your chance. Spoilers ahoy. She's the only character that I really feel like Rain really has a true connection with, like a mother to an extent. She's very much like Rain in the fact that she's empathetic, and she has that same nature about her, and she's also a Dhampir as well. A Dhampir being the mixture between a vampire and a human. Rain already shows tremendous amounts of empathy and is one with the humans around her that she is trying to protect, because she was once a human when she was a child. And while Rain may be on the hunt for her father Kagan and for the people who harmed her and who killed her mother, more importantly, she's on the hunt to find herself again. More importantly, she's on these missions to look more within herself, whether that be a conscious effort through the missions she takes and the Nazis she decapitates. So here are my final thoughts on BloodRayne. Did I love it? Yes, I absolutely love this game, period, end of story. Yes, the controls are wonky at certain points, but as are all games in 2002. BloodRayne was a trip down memory lane, and it was something that I was really eager to do on the channel, obviously. I kind of find it bittersweet that that's one of the last playthroughs that I did before I'm, taking this kind of break to an extent for gaming for a little bit, besides Lair of the Clockwork God. I just honestly, this game has a special place in my heart. It really does. And while I love this game and I love coming back to it and it was a treat for sure, I have to wonder if this game was actually made now, would it be received as well as it did back in those young days of 2002? But you guys, that was today's review. This is so bittersweet. I loved playing this game. I absolutely loved it. And also, did you guys know I'm affiliated with Amazon? So if you want to get some really cool gear, be sure to check down the description below for that as well. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below, because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will see you all in Monday's video. Peace. If they see me reading from a script, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Land to take over the world. Use of vampires in history. BloodRayne. Je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais you. Rewriting the history of Bailar. The psychology of BloodRayne and my final thoughts. Phantom of the Opera is quaking as I speak. I can't. Oh my god, I can't. Amateurs.